Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week 6 of Academy LCS. And going into this one, it's going to be Evil Geniuses Academy versus Cloud9 Academy. And I'm Coco, going to be helping guide you through this game. And honestly, this is the second time that both these teams are running into each other. And we're going to be starting early as we get a flash away from Diamond with that early level 1 invade from Evil Geniuses. Anda is keeping up the chase and trying to get some control onto this bottom side to see if they can possibly start some vertical jungling early on. But it looks like they're just going to go ahead, set up some vision to help keep track of Inori as they go for the resets later on. But just for the stakes of this game, it is very much in Evil Genius's course to take this one. They want to get this win. Not only would it tie them up in standing wise, going from a win from 7-5 for C9 and then 6-5 for Evil Geniuses, tying them up for that second place contention, but it also gives them the head-to-head for playoffs for the standings on that point. So it's really very much a game to win on that point, where Cloud9, they want to widen that gap. They want to make sure that Evil Geniuses is guaranteed in the lower rankings for the rest of the standings for those playoff reasons, and then possibly catch up to TSM and put into that bout. Not to mention, you get the 1-to-1 in the head-to-head matchup, so there's no tie-breaking that is necessary. But on the other end, Evil Geniuses have learned their lesson from the last time that they did face Cloud9, where they were losing a lot of early game pressure. This time around, the draft shows a little bit of a different story in the fact that they went with Akumo with Jace in the top side, and then a very aggressive and power farming jungler for Anda in that Graves pickup. And through the entirety of this game, we're going to be watching to see how aggressive they really will be, because, you know, it comes down all to putting pen to paper and putting from practice into the actual field. And so far, it's telling a good tale here for Gyu, but he is really low and needs to make sure that he has no actual danger threat against Inori, because you can see that you can possibly look for some pressure on that end. All you need is a flash and just punch him once and he'll be going out without a problem. Does decide to recall and might TP back to lane, but no, decides to stop on that end. Another lane that we should really be focusing on in this game is that bottom side, because, you know, looking at the top end, you're not going to be experiencing too much of an issue. Sure, it's Fudge on that Malphite with the Arcane Comet, so he's going to just try and poke here and there, but it's really just making sure that wherever Anda is, EG's lanes can't answer. But he's in a little bit of trouble here because Palafox actually has the priority in mid lane. They're getting caught out, does force the flash and also misses on the chains. Gold card delays Inori a little bit farther and decide to back off. Don't overextend on that trade, and Scuttle priority is inevitably won for Evil Geniuses as a hook comes in onto Matt. Diamond is able to get some early trading going on for Tomo to win this bottom lane pressure, and so far the tale is being told for both these teams to just make sure that you have the right pressure at the right place at the right time. As a matter of fact, with now Anda saying, you know what, we've got a stronger top side here, let's go ahead and play around it and possibly look for a dive 2 later on, mostly around like level 5. I'd expect it if you get a little bit more extra trading onto Fudge, because once you get that with the phase rush, you can go in, dip out, trade that turret pressure, and then possibly get out with the first blood with no deaths going over to your way. Seeing so far not too bad on that end, but they decide to just back away and just keep up that power farming pressure to help keep Anda in the lead against his counterpart of Inori, which through this entire game we really have to keep track of how well Inori's pressure will be as well, because he's very much playing an uphill battle, but his objective control has been phenomenal through the entire Academy summer split so far. You can see that looking in to see if he can get the chickens as well, do a little bit of invading, checking to see where Anda is. Does not know he's recalling, but you know he won't be on that bottom end. However, Evil Geniuses has caught him out. He's spotted the set in that bottom end, so you can immediately see Gyu going up to this top side, seeing if he can get some extra vision. He's not level 6 just yet for a possible turret dive, but at that moment, just making sure that you can always have some extra pressure and extra awareness going into this objective control setup where Mountain Dragon has just spawned, and Rift Herald will be spawning in the next 3 minutes. But Inori, seeing if he can get this mid lane pressure, this will be the first time that Palafox participates in a first blood as well. But Anda coming in for the counter engagement. Palafox doesn't have any summoners. He does get gold carded. He may give his life away, but Inori is trying to be that bouncer, try and get that disengagement back onto his shoulders. And so far, very well played from both of these teams in that mid lane matchup, just to keep each other alive and really trade blow for blows. So far, Evil Geniuses is still having the better of Cloud9 in this mid jungle synergy matchup. Palafox has been struggling through this entire summer split to really be on the same tune with Inori, and it's been showing right here as well. You seeing if you could possibly look for a dive with Anda. I don't know if that was a nice re-engagement for that one on Palafox, but the short-range Greaves shotgun does mean that he will not be able to secure the kill, and teleports from both of the top laners are forced to just secure the safety. Looking for the snipe, but Inori once again has got his mid laners back, and Palafox is able to recall without an issue. And with those resets from both the mid laners means that I can go ahead and go back, grab some additional items. You do have the Catalyst, the Aeons with Giyu, so going a little bit more for that tanky AP route on Twisted Fate. No split pushing this time around, which means that they're really going to emphasize more on the pick style of their composition instead of the more split pushing approach. Because when you look at their entire composition, it is pretty flexible to say, let's do some splits, let's do some 1-3-1s. We have Anda and Matt be that roaming duo, and then Giyu will be that assist to come in and get those kills and securities. But going for the more poke priority style means that they might focus more on 4-1 later on into the game once they really get online, once some turrets start to fall here and there, and you look to prioritize those objectives more often. Especially against a composition like Cloud9, who, as a matter of fact, like you've got Callista with the zoning control and also the objective security with her Rend. You have Palafox's Silas, who will be able to steal any of the ultimates away from Evil Geniuses, and it can either assist out in sort of matching those roams from Giyu's Twisted Fate, or possibly setting up those picks before you really double down onto an objective with stealing Deathly's Enchanted Crystal Arrow. We do see, as a matter of fact, Anda on this bottom side, seeing if he can solo out this dragon, and Inori does have to give it up. He doesn't have the pressure from bottom side or mid side to really look for a contestation, and with the mountain dragon going over, it helps this poke comp be a little bit more buff and survive a little longer if anything does go awry. But it does deny it away from Cloud9, who wants to be more that death ball composition and be that massive team fighting prowess that they've been able to sort of win back some of the games that they've been down in to grab those W's. More harassment from Giyu. This is one thing that I'm really concerned about for Cloud9, because again, with the whole jungle mid synergy between these two teams, Palafox hasn't participated in a first blood this split at all. He's sitting at 0%. And Giyu, sure, he's up there with around 30% participation, but it's mostly the fact that the damage share between these two players is such an awkward story to tell. But here we go with the objective control. Both of these teams have talked out. Let's go for this Herald. We need to prioritize it, especially for C9, who wants to break this map open a little bit earlier. Here comes the ultimate from Palafox, and the engagement as well. Inori is in on the back line, and they are continuing to see if they can take down Deathly. They do. And now the flashes for a disengagement from Evil Geniuses, running for their lives, and that is the next one to fall. It goes over to Fudge. And the Herald does go over to Evil Geniuses in the end, so they will be able to swing back with some pressure later on. But that massive fight going over to Cloud9's favor with a couple kills actually is not over just yet. Inori smites the Gromp for additional health and then flashes out to safety under the guise of Palafox. And with a 2-0 victory for Cloud9, see if they can get some additional plates onto Tomo and Diamond here on this top end before they go ahead and do a full reset. With Kuma on this top end going against Tomo and Diamond, I don't think this is the best place for you, buddy, because if you get hooked up, you're going to be in a world of hurt from the damage that Tomo is going to be able to apply with that Callista, even with only having 2 long swords. Going for the Blade of the Rune King as is a little bit late on the initial items, but is going for more of the extensive itemization pathing for this early stage, grabbing for the Berserker Greaves instead. Honestly, the better pick because it just helps out Kalista so much more with the additional movement speed and the attack speed as well. Don't really need that Bilgewater Cutlass active to help you out in the long run. But Diamond's going to be running into Anda and Matt. Here comes Gyu as well, seeing if they can secure the kill. The cleanse comes in from Tomo. I don't think that was the right gold card priority, buddy, because it allows so much time for Cloud9 to come in and collapse. You're not even able to kill Diamond. And you can be seeing Evil Geniuses shaking their heads on that one, saying you should have gold carded Diamond there, buddy, because we could have gotten out with a kill. And unfortunately, now it's a 4-for-0 victory in that bottom side. 2 more kills going over to the members of Cloud9, and one of those is, as a matter of fact, Tomo. 2 kills onto Palafox as well, 1 kill onto Fudge, and it's exactly where you need those kills to be. Definitely seeing if you can get a hit onto Tomo. The Lantern will pull him out to safety, and just away from Gyu, who comes in with a teleport with the home guards as well. Unable to find any kills. You can also say that he doesn't have damage because he hasn't even finished the Rod of Ages yet. He's still sitting on the Catalyst. Sure, he's got the Dark Seal to boot, but he's got no stacks on it. And the Corrupting Potion not going to be doing anything any longer now that you're starting to sort of migrate out of that laning phase and you're trying to really amplify your early to mid-game power spike. That is your composition, and that's what it's built for. So I'm bummed out that Evil Geniuses, they've fumbled a couple times already with their pick comp that they gave themselves during the draft, and Cloud9 has been reacting splendidly with their Deathball composition, coming in at the right times, having reactionary teleports to help extend those team fights into their favor a little longer. And of course, you got to give a shout out to Diamond for saving Tomo's life in that bottom end pick. On the bright side though, there's nothing else outside of those kills that are really going for Cloud9. No power spikes just yet, but Fudge going to be engaging onto Kumo, and good night. Inori grabbing himself that kill. Not going to continue getting any turret plates though, because Definitely and Matt are here to respond. Don't think they're going to be able to find anyone either, so they go ahead and get out free of charge with that kill over to Inori, grabbing himself some additional gold to help finalize his items here. Does have the Juggernaut and the Merc Treads, which will be really nice, especially if anyone decides to pick onto you. Little quick snippet for you, EG. Don't try and pick Inori. He's just going to waste so much time, and it's going to allow Cloud9 to just come in and take you down. But then who do you pick up, right? Who do you find those picks on? Well, Tomo, again, you got to be looking at. And not to mention Palafox. Like, Palafox, he's still someone that needs a little bit of guidance and a little bit of parenting in this mid-game performance, just because of how awkward it is for him to transition with the rest of his team. Though he is a pillar player for Cloud9. He's someone that, as long as he is able to do at least decently and stay consistent, the rest of Cloud9 will be able to pick up the slack where Palafox had left off and carry through. And not to mention, Tomo has been doing phenomenally, still subbing in for King, as a matter of fact, and the actual improvements that he's made through just the summer split alone, going from, well, I'm a mage in the bot lane with Syndra and Cassiopeia, to being able to pick up the Callista fairly quickly and really get back onto par of what you expect out of an Academy marksman in such short notice is really just great improvements and leaps and bounds for him. And hopefully I'm going to be able to see him later on, possibly next season, and later on into the playoffs as well. Checking in on the gold, you can see that both of these marksmen are sort of ready for their power spike, sitting at 1,500 apiece, but everyone else has already cashed in and is waiting to farm up for their next power spike to prepare for the objectives that are to come. 4 minutes until Dragon, and the Cloud Dragon that was taken away from Cloud9 does give them a little bit of a padding, to be honest, because now those engagements, those team fights that they want, are going to be able to come quicker. You're going to be able to steal those ultimates a little bit faster, and of course, when Fudge is just able to knock up 3 people at once in shorter time frames, it's just great for the rest of Cloud9 to just absolutely obliterate the members of Evil Geniuses who have still yet to find a kill for themselves, though they are sitting with just a slight gold differential just because of the farming game that they've been able to accrue. And it's mostly just on to Anda, who has been trying his hardest but has been shut down time and time again thanks to Inori and Diamond. But the lane's now swapped onto this top side with Tomo and Diamond prioritizing this top side. I don't think you're the best person to be up here, and especially not in that position either. And is going to be that security to help push the rest of Cloud9 away and get that Twisted Fate safely out. He did pop Ghost, though, I noticed. Does mean he won't be able to switch that one out, as he does have Exhaust now with that Summoning Spellbook. Rift Herald is the next contestant. As we mentioned, the Death Ball is better for Cloud9, and here comes that ult from Palafox. It does go wide, so they'll have to wait out a little bit and possibly delay the fight further, but Evil Geniuses says, nay, let's not do that. Let's not try and take this one down until all of our members are ready, but Kumo, he has teleport available, but he's not even close, and you need him to help start out these fights. Here comes the teleport from him. Is a little bit far off because Cloud9 disengaged properly, and they were still able to get the Herald, so well done from Cloud9 to actually disengage and then really sort of push Evil Geniuses into the proper spacing to where no threat of a fight was going to happen until you decided to do it. Flash in from Fudge to get the knock up onto Matt, but the turret and the damage from Deathly is too much to handle. They were not able to find a kill until just now, but Tomo was able to secure that kill onto Matt just moments ago, and Inori is running for his life away from it. And but low blinking health bars from Cloud9 means that this turret in the mid lane will have to be forfeited, and the top side turret had just fallen to Kumo, who decided, you know what, I think my team is just fine with that 4v5. Securing some additional gold for his team and keeping themselves in this game, though the kill score does not tell that story in entirety. And so far, you look at those items again, you haven't even finished a single item on Fudge. Like, you went for that laning phase strat of saying, okay, we're going to go for the Bomby Cinder and the Bramble Vest just for that extra survivability, and it really scares Kumo for going for those extended trades. Not to mention the Ninja Tabi Rush as well, because you're into a ranged matchup here and there with J switches. So it does delay Fudge's power spikes for quite a while, because you won't have that full Sunfire Cape. You won't even have like an Iceborne Gauntlet or a Frozen Heart if you decide to go that path, or even an Abyssal Mask if he so chooses. But those are all the options that he has available, but he still needs to get to step one. He still needs to finish the Sunfire Cape before he really even considers anything else. But he does need to consider getting ready for this dragon, though. The dragon is up in 40 seconds, 35, and with the Infernal Soul, you consider, okay, who is going to have the best benefit out of this soul contestation, and you got to give it to the pick comp of Evil Geniuses. Cloud9 would definitely love it as well, but it's just so much more amplified onto members like Deathly, like Gyu, like Andu, who are able to poke you out, try and do a little duck, dip, dive, and dodge, and then jump right back in when the Infernal is available, and you don't have the sustain to really deal with it on Cloud9, so want to make sure that you can take those away and really ramp up any denial. But at this point, Evil Geniuses says, let's just get the turret priority instead. It's not soul point contention at all. We still got 2 dragons to go until we get to that point, so we can give this one over. It's totally fine. If we get some top lane priority, as a matter of fact, we might be able to look for a couple picks when either Palafox or Fudge decides to transition down to another lane. And if we have that vision priority, that's even better, because, hey, that's what our team comp is built for. So Kumo on that top side. This is the 1-3-1 that we were talking about. I don't fully agree with it, because I don't know if Gyu is ready yet. Like, I think Gyu might just get absolutely caught out if Fudge decides to go in on him. Palafox decides to steal the ultimate away from Kumo. Gets the range grab as well, so just some additional poke and chase, but it does force the flash out of Kumo. Which means, Diamond, yeah, disengage, buddy. But it does mean that with the Kumo flash being gone, you could possibly look to force another fight, potentially in the mid lane or top side. You need to get some turrets under your belts, though, Cloud9. Like, it's 2 turrets to 4. Sure, you've got the kill score. You don't have the gold lead, though. You're actually starting to lose a lot of gold. 2,000 differential. A lot of that, again, is onto that jungler in Anda with that 1 kill and 30 CS differential. And then everyone else has just sort of pennies over the dollar against Cloud9. Looking at where you want to be fighting next, like, sure, Baron's up, but who really even has Baron contestation at this point? I would be very scared if Evil Geniuses decided to threaten it at 20 minutes, because, yeah, Deathball comp on Cloud9, yeah, no thanks, Chief. Like, let's not do that at all. Let's try and find a pick first before we really try and threaten objectives. And with Tomo in the mid lane, I want to see if he and Diamond start working a little bit more together, because Diamond has been sort of stepping a little bit too far from Tomo in some cases. Luckily, he hasn't been caught out just yet. They're both deathless still, and you have the Shirelli's Reverie to help not only with running away, but also with engaging or re-engaging depending on how these fights sway. But you do have the big red button, which is Malphite, who actually is running the purple chroma this time, so it's a big purple button. As you can see, the team of C9 is looking for a pick, and might get hooked, but is able to get away with the phase rush. And does not have flash available for the next few moments, but he will have it up soon, so maybe the next fight or next force that Cloud9 tries to look for is at least going to have an extra tool here and there to get out. But all this sort of sulking around and just farming up peacefully is just for the better for Cloud9, because you get to like sort of wait out, get to your power spikes, you get Runon's Hurricane for Tomo, you get some additional gold onto Palafox to see if he can finish his Leandries. Same with Honori and getting Dead Man's Plate for it to be that extra initiation, and it'll have some more roaming potential to find some catches. And well, Fudge will get to catch up in a manner of speaking. And Evil Geniuses has sort of hit that point where they need to make plays. They need to find kills here and now. Sure, you have the gold lead, sure, you have the turret lead, but that's not going to last for long. Turrets are temporary advantages because you can only get so many. They don't just renew and build up again and again. You need to pressure those lanes again, really break them open to where the inhibitor, the one that really causes a concern for a Cloud9 who is lacking in the wave clear department. Once you break open those inhibitors, that's where you can actually start to really decide to play these patient waiting games. But it's all Cloud9's favor right now. Check in on that gold. Yeah, look, that's the CS differential in Anda, just that 1,000 gold lead, and then everyone else has the scraps here and there. But the one that is missing out is Palafox, actually, who's been farming pretty well for himself and has a couple of kills to boot. So he has finished his Leandri's Torment. He did go for the Super Soaker instead of the Proto Belt. I don't know if that's the best pickup. Like, usually you do see the Proto Belt instead because of the initial burst trade that it does, and it's that extra oomph and that sort of that lunge to help get into the fights. But the Super Soaker, I would argue, I guess, is to sort of help create some spacing for the rest of his team when Anda and Kumo start to get into the thick of it. When there's a pick, or maybe they are trying to force something onto you and you're a little bit caught out, you use the Super Soaker to disengage. But now 30 seconds until Dragon, so we're going to have to see how well those tools are now used for Cloud9, who is primed and ready for this Dragon. They've got the vision control set up, they've got the wave control on the bottom side, and the pressure in mid, so everything's looking green lights here for Cloud9. All they need to do is take it, but Evil Geniuses smelling the blood. They do have the Twisted Fate ultimate. Destiny is popped. Can they find a pick on anybody? Unfortunately not, but all that does tell them, though, is that Fudge is coming down. They have the flank with Malphite. They have the pinch. Trying to force away that pincer maneuver from Cloud9, but it does mean they have to stray away from the Dragon, which is going to fall fairly quickly. I talked about Callista with that objective control, with being able to rend targets away, and they're able to secure it, and here comes the fight to follow. Kumo gets pushed away from the rest of his team, and death is all that awaits him here, as Honori will be able to pick up the kill, and the re-engagement from the Callista ultimate onto Gio with Diamond. They're able to force the stopwatch out of that one, but here comes the re-engage from Evil Geniuses. But you're not a team fight composition, you're a pick comp. Sure, you're able to get Honori, but the rest of your team is blinking low, and you haven't even touched Tomo yet. But oh my goodness, that damage from Anda is ridiculous, buddy. Matt does get caught out, buddy. Okay. Buddy, pal, listen, you should have walked away and called it a day, and now Cloud9 has the tempo, and you're 3-0, you cannot fall here, you cannot give pressure away, and Tomo says, yoink, that Q is mine, and does not fall. So they're able to get a couple kills for themselves, making it now 10 kills to 3, and here comes the TP from Kumo. He says, I'm not done yet, I'm gonna come in with a reckoning. Oh, hey, there's the Super Soaker for the disengagement, that's what I was talking about. Very well done from Palafox to help secure the retreat for his members of Cloud9, and Tomo gets to pick up a red buff for himself. So far, Cloud9 Academy, well done in that fight, well done with the objective juggling and the pressure that they did, and Evil Geniuses, they're looking at a pretty familiar spot here. Last time, again, when these two teams faced up in round 1, it was actually week 3 that they faced each other. And Cloud9 had the early game pressure, they had the early game lead, but they weren't able to close it out because Evil Genius's composition had scaling and had a very strong Senna Karma in the bot lane for that sustain and extensive fighting. Sort of a flipped page, to be honest. Like, now Cloud9 is in the driver's seat with the exact same storyline. You know, anything you can do, I can do better is what Cloud9 is probably saying at this moment in time, and all they need to do to really set that in stone is to blow up the Nexus and write it with the Nexus shards into the skulls of Evil Geniuses as they lay dead in the fountain. It might be foreshadowing a turret dive. Don't at me on that one, but you know, with the way that Cloud9 likes to play, they might just do that if they find the win here. Baron is available. Nothing else is really up at the moment, and you look at the wave pressure, saying, okay, Gyu's on that side lane again. He's going to be seeing if he can find some additional pressure to relieve and sort of bring attention up to Cloud9 to divert their eyes for a bit, and then look for a potential pick here in the mid lane. And I'm disappointed with the lack of proactivity that is coming out from Gyu. He's Destinied twice for picks, and he's mostly just used it for utility to sort of keep track of the members of Cloud9. You picked this first. Like, I'm just going to remind everyone here, Twisted Fate was the first pick of this game, and you are 0-2. That sucks. You know what also sucks is the fact that Fudge has literally outscaled Jace, and now you have Destiny being used for Palafox just to see who's being taken track of. Hey, this is the pick. You should learn from Palafox, and Kumo might just die here. Oh, that's just that's tragic. Oh, blummer. Okay, you've lost that pressure on the top, or on the bottom side, excuse me, between the two solo laners, and Palafox is still on the hunt. Does see the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. That was very hasty. You can see that Evil Geniuses is very much shaking in their boots when they even look at a member of Cloud9. Minori, I'm going to go take the Thresh Express back to safety into the river and see if they can push out their vision control just to prepare for this Baron. They're primed and ready for it. Look at the items. 3 items to 2 there for Tomo. He has the Death Stance at the ready with the Blade of the Rune King and Runons. You will be able to tear through this Baron no problemo. But you have the Last Whisper there for definitely sure, but it's like, okay, who's it for? It's just for Fudge and for Inori. That doesn't really amplify any additional pressure onto either Tomo or Palafox, who you really need to take down. I don't know if it's the greatest pickup. Like, I agree with the Executioners for sure, because you need the sustain for Palafox, you need the additional healing that Tomo will be able to dish out. Like, yes, the Executioners I can understand. But the Last Whisper to just sort of finish out the Mortal Reminder, I'm not sure if that is the greatest call, but you know what? I'm going to support him on that one. If you're able to tear through Fudge, like, it's up to the test of time now, right? Like, if you're just going to be able to tear through Fudge and Inori and just obliterate them with the help of Anda, good on you. Great choice, and I was proven wrong. But that is yet to be proven true, as the teleport from our boy Gyu is getting ready for this dragon. It's going to be up in 15 seconds. And again, Cloud9 has the priority. They have the pressure. They don't have bot wave pressure this time, but no one's really attending to it. It's all eyes on the mid lane right now, so I'm going to be looking for a fight. Keep your eyes on Fudge. There he goes, right onto Kumo. And the Pope composition is being torn apart as Palafox is able to kill Kumo right there. Matt is the second one to fall. Give that boy a double kill onto Silas, and Inori is able to disengage, flashes away from the members of Evil Geniuses, and hey, there you go. Mortal Reminder. Didn't do too much onto Inori or Palafox on that end. And Fudge is still fine and dandy. Now with that pressure, they only need 2 members to take care of the Infernal Dragon, and that will be soul point for the members of Cloud9. That is going to be a world of hurt. Turn up the heat, preheat the oven to 650 degrees, because Evil Geniuses is going to be burning to a crisp and broiling under the fires of Cloud9. Baron is going to be taken without a single thought of contention. Here comes the teleport from Palafox to say, you know what, I'm going to secure this, make sure there's no threat whatsoever. Just wants the participation points, to be honest. Like, again, he had 0% first blood participation before this game. He got it. Got it this time. Good job there, buddy. But you don't need to participate in everything. Honestly, the teleport, you could have just used it for side lane pressure and priority against Gyu, who you've been out-mastering and really showing a master class on how you should be playing Twisted Fate with a Silas. And you finished your Zhonya's Hourglass as well. You are at your 3-item power spikes for all of your members here at this point, except for Fudge, who's a little bit delayed for those reasons that I discussed earlier. But he is darn close to finishing anything he wants out right now. Palafox just jumping in and saying, all right, I've got Destiny now. Akumo and Anda are both here. He has the teleport from Fudge to say, no, 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 that's my Silas. Get off him. Oh, he's going to engage. They're re-engaging. I don't know if this is the right call sheet, but here comes Inori, and the damage from Fudge is just ridiculous. Kumo just has to run for his life here. Sure, he's got phase rush, but that won't stop the cheese wheel that is Malphite's Q to help catch up and take you down. He's going to do it again. He says, Palafox, you've earned this one, Captain. Go ahead and take your prize. Unless Inori's going to get greedy. All right, who's going to take? Come on. Fudge, you're pretty unhealthy. I don't know if I continue to chase this chief. The rest of the team is currently just splitting bot. Oh, nice flash. All right, Inori says dibs. Inori's called dibs, and bam! Inori, go ahead and crack that skull, and here comes the 2v2 in the mid side between the two bot duos. Diamond does miss that re-engagement through the Callista ultimate, and Gyu is here to help out his squad, but so is Inori. Palafox flash hook does force another flash from Deathly, but that does break open the turret, and with the Baron buff as well, you will be taking this mid lane inhibitor turret to boot. If not, the inhibitor as well. Go ahead and snag that one, and now look for that retreat. Look for that reset, because Anda's going to be up the next few seconds. And you don't have the tools available to continue the fight. Diamond is also fairly unhealthy. He doesn't have any summoners either, nor the box. So go ahead and get out of there while Gyu is looking for the flank. And overall, what was a little bit of a heckin' concern for Evil Geniuses has now come into a big ol' uh-oh, as Cloud9 has just massively created a gap. Not just in kills, but it's actually recovered in the gold. Like I was mentioning earlier that Evil Geniuses continue to have at least a 1,000 gold lead just for a little bit, just due to the farming and the early game composition that they had built up, just for that pressure. But they were never able to use it. They were never able to find those picks with the Twisted Fate. They were never able to harass down for dives to prepare for Fudge on that weak side for top lane Cloud9. And Enchanted Crystal Arrow, oh gosh, oh, Destiny, you gonna get it? Oh, just barely. I think if he had ult, he would have just grabbed him and put him right back into the dirt. But unfortunately, he had 5 seconds left on that end. But now Cloud9, Baron's about to wear off. You do have that mid lane inhibitor down. You have Fudge on the top side. No TPs available, though. So this is where... Inori, you're just teasing it, buddy. If you died for this, you deserved it 117%. I don't know about the 17%. I think that just comes from the fact that you participate in a lot of kills, and you just need to buffer it out. But Inori, bruh. That's an ego check right there. So what should Cloud9 have been doing? Back onto the point is... They should be just deathballing. Again, their composition's all about the deathball, all about 5-manning. You don't have any teleports as well that are available, so just group up with Fudge. He is that big purple engage button. Go into this top side, break down some turrets. Sure, your siege isn't phenomenal, but when you're able to poke people off with Tomo, Qs, and Rens, and with Palafox harassment with the chains, you can legit dive these turrets. Speaking of diving these turrets, they got their snorkels ready, and they just destroy Kumo, making Tomo godlike. 7-0 on this Callista, and that's exactly what they needed to do. Inori died for this lesson, I suppose, but nonetheless, they are going to be pushing this top side with Fudge, with Inori on the side lane instead. Hey, your teleport on Palafox is up. You could be the one that actually goes down and answers this split push instead, but because you're here, might as well attend the party as they break down that second paper mache turret in the top side. Matt seeing if he could find some spacing here for his team. I think he'll be looking for a fight, though. I don't know about that one, Captain. Like, you are pretty far behind at this point. You do have 4 items onto Deathly, though. You have that Infinity Edge to boot. So far, oh, Gyu. Again, with these catches here, Fudge and Palafox have just been on Gyu's number right now. They're able to take him down, make that a killing spree for Palafox, and here comes Inori coming in with a Randy Orton, slipping in, giving the kills over to Tomo, giving the kills over to his mid lane Palafox. They've been having troubles with mid-jungle synergy so far, but this is the actual synergy that we needed from Cloud9. They've found it in the second half of the summer split, and they are coming in to crush Evil Geniuses Academy and saying, we're going to widen this gap between the second and third place seeding. We're going to even up the score in the head-to-head, and we will take this game. Oh, this is the time we're talking about. The time under the fountain. Tragic.